Get ready to learn. Our Sandy Mark instructor will lead you through a cardio cleaning and core skills workshop. We're going to feel the burn today. Keeping your facility safe will make you feel amazing. Let's get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This presentation provides key guidelines to assist you in being prepared to serve the public and customers during a pandemic. The course addresses hand hygiene and disinfection best practices. It does not replace Health Canada, provincial, or federal guidelines. Please consult those sources for further requirements. We will try to shed some light on employer responsibilities and employee responsibilities. During this pandemic, employers must provide the necessary cleaning products to maintain a clean and safe workplace, provide access to hand washing and hand sanitizing in prominent locations throughout the workplace, ensure that frequently touched surfaces are disinfected twice daily, ensure that cleaning supplies are available for employees to clean and disinfect their workspaces. Provide employees with PPE recommended by occupational health and safety guidelines and the training to ensure it's used correctly. A COVID-19 safety plan that outlines the policies, guidelines, and procedures that have been put in place to reduce the risk of COVID-19 transmission. To ensure physical distancing, you may have to limit occupancy or number of customers, affix floor decals, install acrylic or fiberglass barriers. Employees also have some responsibilities. Employees will need to keep their hands clean, keep their environment clean, keep their distance. If they have one symptom of COVID-19, such as fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, or even mild symptoms, should stay home to avoid spreading illness to others. You can find more information regarding these recommendations by visiting the Public Health page on the Government of Canada website. Public Health recommends washing your hands frequently for at least 20 seconds with soap and water. Or, if hands are not visibly soiled, use a hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. As part of your COVID-19 safety plan, you'll need to encourage the use of contactless payment methods, require employees to wash their hands after handling cash, passes, membership cards, and other shared items. Provide adequate hand washing or hand sanitizer stations for customers and staff to use upon entering the facility and when leaving. Provide a lined waste bin for customers to dispose of used sanitizing wipes and other safety equipment, such as masks and gloves, when entering and exiting the facility. Establish hand washing policies and hygiene practices and post these throughout the facility. Ensure hand washing or sanitizing stations are available and easily accessible. Instruct customers to wash their hands before and after a workout. To use hand sanitizer when transitioning between pieces of equipment. Provide supplies for this throughout the facility. And ensure that used tissues, disinfectant wipes, and safety equipment are properly disposed of in a lined waste bin that's emptied at least daily. Whether we wash our hands with soap or use 60% alcohol hand sanitizer, there are areas of hand hygiene that we can improve. Let's look at the illustration. Those areas in red are almost always ignored. Those areas in blue are also frequently missed. So hand washing. How many times can we be trained on how to wash hands? The answer is at least one more time. This is what I'd like to call wash your hands like a boss. And if you were to break it down, these 11 steps will cover it. Or our 40-second video. Really, it takes longer to describe than to do it. But when you follow the steps, the red and blue areas don't stand a chance. Here are some additional tips for healthy hands. If you wear gloves, rinse hands well before putting on gloves, as any residual soap may increase irritation. And dry your hands like you mean it. A moist hand picks up 7 times more germs than a dry one. Hand towels versus hand dryers. Just remember, heated hand dryers do not kill the coronavirus. And forceful air circulations may be a concern. So, for now, just give me an absorbent paper towel. All soaps remove the moisture between hand cells, especially on softer skin. So, moisturize after every hand wash with soap. If you need posters to promote hand hygiene in your facility, you can download them by visiting the SaniMark COVID-19 website, www.sanimark.com COVID-19. An article published April 16th in the New England Journal of Medicine studied how long the virus can survive on different surfaces. 3 hours in the air, up to 3 days on plastic and stainless steel, and up to 24 hours on cardboard. Clients, employees, and visitors should be free from any doubt of your facility's safety. The first step is a thorough cleaning. This removes soils where germs hide and makes your next step, disinfecting, effective. All frequently touched surfaces, sometimes referred to as contact points, must be disinfected. Think about all those areas: doorknobs, handrails, light switches, file cabinets, faucet handles, tables and countertops, credit card terminals and electronics. All these touch points must be disinfected. Think of this as a reset so that you can be confident that you're doing your part. Do these surfaces look familiar? They're all surfaces that are potential hotspots. With a bit of practice, you'll quickly recognize surfaces that are prone to contact with hands. And this creates another question. What products should I use to create and maintain a safe environment for the public? First, remember, you can't disinfect it if it's not clean first. Soil provides a barrier allowing germs to hide. That's why you need to clean as well. Disinfectant cleaners cut through most light soils, exposing germs and killing them. When a surface is visibly soiled, adding a cleaning step is the best practice. This does not need to be complicated. It can even be achieved by wiping once with your disinfectant cleaner to clean, and then wiping again with enough liquid to keep the surface wet for the time specified on the label to disinfect. Let's break down what's being achieved on a microscopic level. Cleaning products remove germs, dirt, and impurities from surfaces by using detergent and water. Cleaning does not necessarily kill germs, but instead removes them. It lowers their numbers and the risk of spreading infection. Disinfecting products kill germs on surfaces using chemicals. It's important to use only approved hard surface disinfectants that have a DIN, or Drug Identification Number. That number is given by Health Canada to confirm the disinfectant is approved and safe for use in Canada. Health Canada lists disinfectants approved for use against COVID-19. Wood Wyatt offers you a complete range of Health Canada approved disinfectants. There are many differences between those products, but for the purpose of simplification, contact or dwell time is an important variable when using a disinfectant. And as you can see, some disinfectants destroy germs in 5 minutes, others take 10 minutes. Vertical Saber is a very versatile disinfectant that both cleans and disinfects. It kills bacteria and inactivates viruses in 5 minutes. When used simply to sanitize or reduce the number of germs, 30 seconds is sufficient to kill most bacteria. It's also an excellent cleaner that can be used for many applications on a multitude of surfaces, such as carpets, floors, glass, and washroom sinks and fixtures. There are a couple of things you should remember. If used on surfaces that come into contact with food, such as lunch tables, kitchen countertops, cutting boards, it will have to be rinsed with water afterwards. Disinfectants should not be ingested. It should also not be used on marble and some plastic displays or electronic screens. Moreover, it's odor-free and Ecologo environmentally certified. Before we look at other products, let's take a closer look at what is needed to create precise cleaning procedures. These are the things to be considered. To develop or review protocols and procedures for cleaning public spaces. Have a list of what surfaces need to be disinfected, how often, and with what product. Read and follow manufacturer's instructions for safe use of cleaning and disinfection products. Wearing appropriate PPE to protect from microbes. And a reminder to wash hands with soap and water or use a hand sanitizer after removing your gloves. Here's an example where the facility has been divided into areas such as front desk and sales, equipment room, climbing walls, saunas, steam rooms, locker rooms, showers and washrooms, linen and towels, equipment cleaning and disinfecting, tanning surfaces. Each of the areas are then divided into surfaces such as displays, keyboards, filing cabinets, equipment, showers, toilets. The responsibility for cleaning is then assigned to the appropriate individual. A list of supplies required for the surface, and how often the surface is to be maintained, and any additional comments that need to be highlighted for the successful completion of the task. Now, Let's take a deeper look at the cleaning and disinfecting methods during COVID. Disinfecting large areas has become a focus and is proven to be labor intensive, time consuming, and requires a lot of manpower. Electrostatic spraying applies a charge to the disinfectant that assists in dispensing an even, uniform, and wraparound layer of disinfectant onto most surfaces. They're used to disperse the disinfectant in the air in the form of tiny droplets in order to cover large surfaces for touch-free disinfection. SaniMark provides procedures and protocols for cleaning your common areas that you can download at www.sanimark.com COVID-19. These SOPs provide training on how to clean the areas that are hot points in your facility. And when followed, they can quickly be relied upon to answer how you are keeping your facility safe. It's expected that visitors to your establishments will welcome these efforts to enhance their safety. We've entered a period of time in which visibly clean also means that your cleaning is visible. It's hard to believe, but it was not long ago that most businesses reserved hand sanitizers just for their employees, not for visitors. Today, the public wants to do their best as well to ensure that they'll do no harm and to be reassured that you are providing a hygienic, safe space. Here are the fundamentals of cleaning. Disinfect higher surfaces first, from top to bottom. This prevents recontaminating lower surfaces as soils and germs fall to the floor. Disinfect the cleanest surfaces first, and finish by disinfecting the most contaminated surfaces. This minimizes the likelihood of moving germs from dirty areas into clean. When you disinfect, make sure the surface remains wet for the entire contact time. If it dries earlier, wet again to achieve that time. It's important. Also, don't forget that disinfectants should be kept out of reach of visitors and children. Now, more than ever, it's important to practice safety first. Let's start with never mix concentrated chemicals. Certain chemistries, such as mixing acids and alkalines, for example, vertical blue force, your toilet bowl cleaner, and bleach, can create toxic fumes. Other products, such as vertical bio drain and grease trap cleaner, contain useful living microbes that eat through grease. Those same microbes are killed off by disinfectants, so it's a good idea not to mix them either. Remember your WMIS training? Your first resource for compatibility of chemicals is your SDS, Safety Data Sheet. But it's not the only resource. Those symbols on the products and the information on the labels are there for a reason. Your safety data sheets will tell you if a product is likely to react with another. For instance, in our example, the SDS for vertical blue force says keep away from alkalines, and the SDS for bleach says keep away from acids. Your SDS will detail those precautions. And physical distancing can also refer to products. If they're likely to react with each other, keep them apart, as well as what first aid measures are helpful in case of exposure. At this time, Health Canada does not recommend aggressive dusting or sweeping, as this can distribute virus particles into the air. Instead, use damp cleaning methods to clean floors and to dust above the floor surfaces. If you decide to use disposable cleaning items, they should be placed in a lined, touch-free garbage bag before disposing of them with regular waste, since they are potentially contaminated. For better cleaning, use microfiber cloths. They remove more dirt. When viewed under high magnification, each square inch reveals 200,000 tiny hooks. You can include different colors in your cleaning procedures. For instance, pink for high-risk areas such as washrooms and green for common areas. We do not recommend the use of a trigger sprayer to apply disinfectant. The two methods that we favor are using a charging bucket or applying directly to the cloth. Disinfectants are meant to be applied to surfaces, not to your lungs. When using a charging bucket, insert as many dry folded microfiber cloths as you'll need and disinfect so that cloths are saturated, approximately 100 milliliters per cloth. Once done, flip the cloths over to ensure even saturation. There is a right amount of dampness. We do not want those hooks to simply hydroplane over a surface because the cloth is soupy sloppy. You should never redunk a cloth into the bucket. After use, place soiled cloths in a soiled cloth bag. For applying directly to the cloth, use a flip-top cap and apply until it's damp. Avoid applying disinfectant to the surface directly. Now that the cloth is damp, we'll practice the ancient art of origami. Make sure your cloth is folded in half, then fold in half again. Just remember, each side has a back and a front, and the resulting 1/4 fold will give you 8 fresh surfaces to clean with. Use your entire hand to wipe the surface, like the image on the screen. Do not bunch up the cloth. Once your microfiber becomes visibly soiled, or you have to move into a different area, flip to a fresh side. Work in an organized manner so that you don't forget surfaces. Clockwise or counterclockwise, both work equally well. Once this technique is mastered, you'll begin to expect a higher level of cleanliness and efficiency is achieved. Microfibers are reusable and can be washed. Here's a handy guide for disinfecting equipment on a daily basis and a weekly basis, and those things to look at each month. Your cleaning and disinfecting process may include barriers. Cleaning regularly prevents the accumulation and transmission of contaminants. Barriers with openings that people pass materials through are touch points and require cleaning and disinfecting more frequently. To clean your barrier while wearing gloves, wipe the inside, followed by the outside of the shield. When performing this task, go from top to bottom, followed by the edge of the shield, and use a dry cloth, squeegee, or window vacuum to remove the slurry and contaminants. disinfect your shield, wipe with a disinfectant with a microfiber saturated so that the surface remains wet for the stated dwell time. And once dry, wipe away any spots with your cleaner. Remove your gloves and perform hand hygiene. Disinfecting floors has not always been the normal for our industry, but you'd have to agree that this last year has not been normal. Researchers tested surface and air samples from an intensive care unit and a general COVID-19 ward, and they found that the virus was most heavily concentrated on the floors of the hospital wards, perhaps because of gravity and airflow causing most virus droplets to float to the ground. Does this observation impact your facility? Possibly. Imagine this scenario. A person with COVID visits your facility, animatedly talking about golfing or some other subject. Viral particles are shed from sneezing, coughing, even speaking moistly. You walk across the area that's been contaminated, take off your shoes when you reach home, and forget to wash your hands. We touch our faces on average 23 times per hour. Even that laptop bag, purse, or gym bag, or knapsack that has come into contact with the floor could be a hot zone. A few moments ago, I referred to a hospital study, and the same study revealed that half of the samples from the soles of the staff's shoes tested positive for viral contamination. And that study should cause you to reflect on what you may be bringing home. I'd like to mention additional studies have also shown some alarming findings, recording the transference of pathogens. How does that happen? We're often told not to bring our work home with us, and this gives extra meaning to that adage. When dealing with the public, you are exposed not only to those that you come into contact with, but the 10 people that they were exposed to. Here is a blueprint that we've designed for our employees who come into contact with the public during the course of the day. The strategy begins at home before work. Consider minimizing the jewelry that you wear to work. It's hard to thoroughly wash your hands with rings on your fingers. Disinfect your pen and other devices that you transport to work before you leave the house. Remember, your cell phone regularly is held up to your face. And wear clothes that are specific to work. Wash or sanitize your hands as the last step before leaving your residence, and ensure that you have hand sanitizer in your car, and if possible, disinfectant wipes and a reusable mask. Clean and disinfect the touch points on your car, especially if it's been shared with other family members. During work, develop good hygiene habits by sanitizing your hands as you enter your workplace and before exiting. Wash your hands or use sanitizer throughout the day when you've touched door handles or light switches that have been touched by others. Washing hands is the preferred method of hand hygiene. Do it before and after eating, after using the bathroom, after smoking or vaping, and whenever your hands are visibly dirty. Practice physical distancing whenever possible, staying 2 meters away from other people. Coughing and sneezing are obvious methods of transmitting droplets containing the virus, but extended conversations in close contact is also a source of moist droplets. Avoid handshakes and fist bumps, sharing pens or other instruments. Offer digital information rather than handing paper leaflets and brochures. Be aware of how to wear a mask properly, not only does it go over your mouth, it also goes over your nose. Donning and doffing disposable gloves is a science. Learn it for your safety and those that you care for. Gloves pick up viral particles, perhaps even easier than your hands. Only wear them when required. They should be removed immediately after potential exposure. And finally, after work, take off your shoes and leave them at the entryway or garage outside your house. Wipe them down on a regular basis. Disinfect your phone, tablet, laptop bag, knapsack, other items you've brought home from work. Water bottles and lunch containers are other surfaces requiring regular wiping. Do not physically greet family or pet animals until after you've washed your hands. And wash your hands for at least 20 seconds with soap and water. Remove your work clothes and launder or put into a bag to be laundered later. Avoid putting laptop bags, phones, or other work items on surfaces that are used to prepare food. I hope this presentation has reassured and guided you in your pandemic cleaning and reopening process. If you have any questions on our products, communicate with your Wood Wyant account manager at 1-800-361-7691, and we're all on LinkedIn, so please follow us. We are at the dawn of a return to a normal life. Let's do it safely.